What about the idea that people could be entitled to damages for things like emotional distress and things like that? Do you have a block towards that there are scenarios in which people actually could have emotional distress and seek damages, and if the law tells you in certain claims that those are appropriate, can you follow that law?
Sure.
Okay. You wouldn't look at kind of some of the more sensationalized cases out there and say, well, that always applies then, right? Like, they're all like that. You mentioned McDonald's and the snake case at Disney World, which I hadn't heard about, but, right. You can leave that outside the courtroom.
Yes.
Okay. So 16-1, that's all 53? Yes. Same thing, or?
Same thing. A lot of frivolous lawsuits, I feel. Some, it seems like the dollar amounts are astronomical, but I don't know. You're just hearing what's reported to you. You don't know details about anything on. So it's not a block for me, per se, but yeah, I do feel good about that.
Okay. Yeah, I think that the bigger question is that, having heard things, having formed opinions of, well, I would never go in court and give millions of dollars or whatever, when you haven't heard any evidence, you haven't heard any law in this case. And, I just want to make sure nobody's preconceived notions are that strong. Number 3, you look very pensive right now. Are you thinking about this?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Do you have an opinion? You are like in hardcore finger pose right
The way
there.
I look at things is you listen to all the evidence and then you make a determination. To go in with any kind of preconceived notion about anything without knowing any of the facts doesn't make any sense. So I'm listening to all this and I'm like, does it really apply to McDonald's and coffee and something else when it's a completely different case with completely different facts that would not apply to this?
Yeah, I mean, the idea is that you restrict your evaluation to what's put on in trial. What I'm trying to find out is that, you haven't walked into the courthouse this week with this idea that I'm never going to be one of those jurors who, if they're asked for a lot of money, can give a lot of money. You, read all this other stuff out there that stops you from that.
All right. Well, kind of what I was saying is, because every case is different, the amount's going to be different depending on the circumstance. So, to me, I look at it and you have to understand what the situation is before you can make that determination. It could be a lot of money, it could not be a lot of money. You don't know.
Right. The point is that you haven't walked in preconceived either way, and that's really what we're doing. Okay. Number 2, what do you think about that?
I agree that there's too much preconceived idea.
What about the morality talk? You didn't chime in at all on that. Do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I'm pretty much on that level. I don't judge people.
Okay. All right. So there was a reason why you didn't have any thoughts on that, because you are a live and let live person. That makes sense. Okay. 53. Who else wanted to talk to me about damages issues on that side? Raise their hand. 94, 90, 96. You don't have to do that. 96, what do you got? What's your thought?
I was just going to say, the McDonald's case is actually a great example where you see something like that, and I would say, yeah, I had a preconceived notion of it, but actually learning about the case and the trial really changed my mind.
Oh, did you study that case a little bit?
Yeah, read up on it, studied into it a little bit, and
yeah,
completely different conclusion at the end of it.
I don't really get into it with people because that's, there was a lot more to it, I think, than what was ultimately reported, but I understand that. So what you're saying, though, is that, generally speaking, you're not going to...
No, I would say from that example that taught me to...
Like, you're not offended at the concept of large civil awards in a way that would create issues for you sitting in a jury if you're going to be asked at some point for a large civil award, right?
No.
Okay. 94? Thank you for that answer, that comment.
When you place a value of money, like you said, $100 million, do you use a formula?
I didn't say $100 million.
I noticed that on the sheet.
I didn't say any. I mean, it may have said on a sheet somewhere, but we can go with that for the question. Let's keep talking.
Do you use a formula?
I'm not going to talk to you about that now. I can't. I can tell you this.
That's my question.
Yeah, I think I can tell you this. You can keep standing. We're still talking. With anything, very similar to number 14 about believability of witnesses and all that, evidence is put on, the judge instructs you about different categories of damages, and just like anything in a lawsuit, they have to be proved. So whether it's a formula or some other way, you find out when you're in the trial. How's that?
Okay.
Make sense? What I think you're asking for is that for you, I guess what you're saying is some degree of you want some kind of structured way to figure it out.
Correct.
Okay, do you think people are entitled to damages for emotional damages? Emotional distress, do you think?
Yes.
You don't have a problem with that category, because I can promise you that kind of stuff's not a formula. That's just a concept right now, right? You're good with that? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else over here? 90, raise your hand again. What do you got?
Oh, I agree with what's going on as for like 1 and
16.
16. I agree.
And 2, and 3, actually, they
But
turned
I
out that.
also understand that in 6, sometimes doing the research and finding out the facts can play a whole different role in your thought process on that.
The good thing about being on a jury in a case is actually you don't have to do the research, it's handed to you. As you sit there for 3.5 weeks.